America, Daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
There's my daughter. Live screen.
Oh, hi,
on the
Aubrey.
show.
Special guest. Hello.
Special guest, daughter.
Morning.
You guys talk amongst yourselves while I yell at my daughter real quick. I don't yell at her, you know what I'm saying.
Well, good morning. Happy Monday.
I like that. Troy, you know what that looked like? It looked like an umpire in a baseball game.
That's right.
You're out. Or when, yeah, I always loved that in baseball. That was always tickled me when you saw the, because this is baseball. It's not like football or something. And the managers would come out and they'd argue something, and the guy would listen to him, and then the fingers would start going, and you're out. And then he'd throw his hat. It was very, very theatrical. I like that. It was.
I like the idea of just an internet personality who tries to be nice, and then whenever their kids come out, you're like, "Oh, I gotta hug my kid. Get back to your hole.
Yeah,
Get back to your hole." So,
that's right.
Anyway, happy Monday to you guys. Hope you're doing well. Matt, you went to the dunes. Is that correct?
No,
I'm
I
just
did
kidding.
not.
No, that's a two. So I was watching football. Apparently, Miami's quarterback, they were asking him something, and he gave the most nonsensical, like clearly he has CTE answer.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's reminding me of so.
I hope I don't have CTE.
No, I don't think you have CTE. I think it might be me. But so sad day in Knoxville. We played our hearts out.
That's right.
We deserved to win, as the coach of Georgia himself said.
That's right.
But we have a little 12-year-old kicker, and it's tough.
What did UT lose?
UT was up. Georgia came back, took the lead. UT came back, take the lead. UT walks it down the field with under a minute left, gets it to like the 20, I think. So it's a 40-yard field goal. Shanks the 40-yard field goal.
Which
Could have won it.
Yeah.
Could have won it right there. Goes to overtime. Tennessee scores 3. Georgia scores 7. Game over.
Yeah.
So
Is Georgia good? How many games have they played at this point?
Georgia's one of the best teams in the country.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and is Tennessee good then too?
I think what this showed is
Tennessee's also good. They're both
if we
good.
make it to the playoffs, we will be a problem for teams.
Okay.
We might not be championship, but you don't want to play.
They have just a Final Four, is that right, or is it more?
12. They expanded it to 12 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does a bracket of 12? Okay. I see.
I think like 2 get a bye, the first 4 get a bye. Yeah.
Gotcha. So like an Elite 8 and 4, and then they merge it or something like that. Okay.
But it makes you feel sorry. I mean, to me yesterday, the highlight for me, it just puts the spotlight on the position of a kicker. He sits there the whole game. He's not playing, and he's going to basically decide the game. Now, if he kicks it, he should make it. That's the idea. But if he misses it, no player is more instrumental. It's hard to say we lost the game because of this guy. But when it comes to a kicker, what a tough thing for a young man to go through.
It's a thankless position. It's a thankless position.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a position everybody hates.
Yeah.
And they don't think those people deserve to be on the team. But also you need to win the game for us. It's a catch-22.
Right. He has a responsibility. One guy could have caused I mean, you think about it, if they haven't beaten Georgia the last 8 or 9 times, if this kicker would have hit it, he'd have the keys to Knoxville, right? When you say Troy.
It's like my 80 VIX calls. I hate that they're on the team. I need them to perform. Those are the things
Yeah, we're far from. I hate to say it, Troy.
I know. But this is like a 400-yard field goal at that point.
Yeah, I was thinking about to the market right now. One of you were talking about it last week. What was the movie that made me think of the movie with Jim? Was it Jim Carrey where he was in a bubble? He lived in a bubble.
Oh, the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. Probably.
So I'm thinking of the market. I think, Troy, you were talking a little bit about the market's not moving according to any logical thing anymore. And it's like today, we're down a little bit. We hit all-time highs, which we hit every day. We hit all-time highs Friday, and then it bounces. And I'm like, maybe we got a shot here. We bounced 17, 18 points today.
Futures up 20. Here we go.
Well, and today because of, it's just like, it's like President Trump can manufacture, it's just, there's always something that can keep the hope of this bubble going, which is China, so you had a good conversation, whatever, with China, and they're Friday going to make the decision on the whole TikTok, or he's going to meet with him, but TikTok. And then you have the Tesla is just.
Yeah, Tesla's up 8% pre-market. Elon's buying $1 billion worth of stock. It's
unbelievable. And then you got the on top. So that is just like the bubble don't think that we're going to have any kind of normal correction soon, at least what the market's saying. And then the big kahuna Wednesday, right? That with the FOMC and
is that this week?
Week. And so it's mainly to see what they're going to say about the next 2 cuts this year.
Yeah,
that's really because they're saying it should be a quarter, and then the next 2 cuts. But yeah, could be a week for a.
Could be fun.
What's
could
that?
Be 68.50 on the SPX.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, you just made my week because I was not looking at the market, my market. I was not looking at my positions. Papa has some Tesla calls.
Are you
I
serious?
didn't even realize it. Yeah, I forgot about it. I have an automated strategy that Mr. Matt Simon gave me, and
wow,
what
a guy!
Man,
no, listen. Do we have a savant on the OO show? do we have an option picker on the OO show?
Listen, you can backtest Apple and Tesla, and you can automate Apple and Tesla, and maybe we'll do something on that. The particular thing Troy's talking about, probably not. Maybe Tesla in general.
It's like Shark Week. It happens once a year. Tesla Week is going to come at OO. I've got here's the schedule this week. I'm going to Florida.
Oh, no.
And you know what I realized later this week? I've gone to Florida a lot this year, different spots. Florida, growing up, I did not like Florida. Florida to me felt a poor man's California.
Wow.
And I
never heard that. I
kind of stand by that a little bit. But
wow.
But here's the thing. My location wise, if I had California and Florida and they were same distance, I would 9 times out of 10 go to California.
Sure.
But then also that flight to California is long.
Yes. You might as well go to Portugal.
Well, here's again.
Might as well go to Madrid.
Can I just talk? Can I just talk as a friend here for a second on a Monday morning? California from Knoxville is between a layover or whatever. It's 5 hours. Right?
Easy. Yeah.
Dan, is that right? 5 hours?
Easy. Yeah. With a non-stopper.
With a non-stopper, yeah. I can be in Key West in an hour and a half. Like, that's tough, So when you plan a vacation, you got kids, you want to get out, you want to start enjoying the vacation. To be able to be same day, just a couple hours later at your hotel is really great.
Not exhausted, not delirious.
Not exhausted, not delirious. Key lime pie. Shout out Key lime pie.
Listen, Florida, the stats about California's economy, if you pull it off, how strong it is. If you pull Florida off by itself, it's a pretty strong economy too. There's a lot going on. I mean, people think about theme parks and beaches, but I mean, they have their agricultural section. Yeah. They've got, there's more industry in
Florida's big.
Florida than you would think.
Yeah,
there's a lot going. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a powerhouse.
Saying that to say, I have an idea. Today, I'm not going to show a test, everybody. Hey, everybody in the chat, say hi, too. Say good morning. It's Monday morning. I know you guys are drinking your coffee. Let's go.
That's right.
Let's. I was talking to a coach. I was talking to a football coach yesterday at church, and we were talking about how what we realize as we get older is we're not addicted to lifting weights. We're not addicted to getting hit or hitting people. We're not addicted to extreme sports. We're trying to be addicted to the discipline, just trying to be addicted to the discipline.
That's right.
And that's what he said. And I said, you're out of your mind. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's insane. So, all right, here's my idea. Dan, I'm going to need your help with this.
Sure.
Matt, I'm going to need your help with this. This is what I love to see. The boys came out. The guys came out. Philip, Riviera, Maya. Yeah, that's true. I saw that. I've seen it. I love it. I was actually looking at that last night. Good origami man. Let's go. That's what I love to hear. It's Monday. Hi, Troy. Good morning, boys. Good morning. Good morning. Let's make some money.
Let's go.
Philip, you're kicked out of the show. I don't like that action. But
Troy, this could be a good week for. I mean, I know I've heard you and Matt say the reverse iron condor is kind of a maybe in the doghouse a little bit at times in the OO community. Would that be fair to say? I think this week. What would you say, Matt?
I mean, I think I'll just say I think since we did some VIX intraday down move. There's anecdotally seems like there's a lot more people doing RICs again these days. Good.
Because I think this week could be, you definitely have some, with the Fed coming, we could get a little bit of movement to the corners, that it can move a little bit. And like Matt said, with the back testing where you put some intraday volatility going down, I don't know how much further we can go. I mean, we're in the 14s, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you want, if you're new to the show and you want to, we're not going to deep dive the RIC today, but if you're interested, if you go to Option Omega Academy, which is academy.optionomega.com, and do the build a backtest portfolio class, there's your RIC in there. Take that RIC and throw on an intraday VIX mid move down of 1%. And then that'll get you cooking. That'll get you started with some back testing. So
yeah,
pro tip, there it is.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Oh, absolutely. Smash that subscribe and like button. Just smash it. So here's the thing. I have an idea, and I had this idea this weekend, and I played around with it for a little bit. Played around with it last night. It's not back testable yet. It will be back testable, but this is a concept before it's a back test. And I wanted to talk to the guys about it because there's a part of me that thinks I maybe just created the perfect trading system.
I like it.
Followed by, I am an idiot, and surely this is not a trading system.
Are you holding those things together in
yes.
tension, Troy?
Yes. So here's the thing. This is my big idea before we dive into what it might look like. Have you ever noticed? Now, I'm going to caveat this. What I'm talking about is the current regime. And what the current regime.
Oh, yeah.
And what the current regime is all-time highs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we surpass, trade around all-time highs. Now, that is not a unique regime. One could argue that is the majority of the S&P is in this regime.
Yeah.
Right. So this is step one. I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about Liberation Day stuff now. And then I started looking at the screen, and I started looking, and I downloaded basically every minute of this year. And I had this theory to say, in this regime, are there certain numbers, forget gamma, are there certain numbers that mean something?
Okay.
Like 6,500,
yeah.
6,525, 6,550,
Gotcha.
6,575, 6,600. And I started with the idea of saying, what I've seen happen anecdotally is that you approach the big number, right?
Yeah.
You go back down. You approach the big number, you go back down. You go over the big number, and here's where it gets tricky. You go back down. And I wanted to test that. I'm not going to show you the data because I don't quite trust the data yet. I'm still massaging the data a little bit. But I do feel comfortable knowing that the vast majority of time, like say for today, we opened up at 6605.
Yeah.
Right?
That looks pretty close.
Which we touched 6,600 Friday and then backed off.
Yeah. I have a feeling, not financial advice, just a feeling, that we will, with high probability, in the next 3 days, go below 6,600.
Go
the
below
first time. The first, but here's the importance of it. The first time.
6,500 or 66?
Are we at 66 right now?
Yeah,
66.
Yeah. So we're open up 6,605.
Yeah.
6,610, whatever. Open up over the 6,600 mark. The first time we go over it, I have high probability confidence that we're going to go under it again. Right?
So maybe towards 6,500 in some capacity.
6,550 realistically.
Okay, I think an expected move is expected move for the week. I think is like 80 points or something.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I have this idea, and I don't know how to trade this. This is an open discussion. If that was true, if you knew that in general you're going to go up, and it can go way up, and it cannot touch again. I mean, the market doesn't look. But just from a statistic standpoint, there's a good chance it's probably going to drop below a higher low, 65, the 50 mark, go to the 50 mark, and it's going to bounce. And we're going to retrace back to the upside. If you knew that was the case, how would you play starting the time when we're now above the whole number? So let's say we're above 6,600. How would you play that whole process into 6,700? That's my weekend kind of thinking through concept.
How to play it down to 6,550 and then back up to 6,700. Play the whole move.
And so the question is, how do you get? So say all that had happened. We're now in the new point as we go up. Markets go up. We're at 67. Say we're at 6,600 now. That's the low. We're heading back. We're going to 6,700.
Okay.
How would you play that whole process?
So again, Troy, we're playing it from, let's say we're making the assumption we're 66.0, we open 66.05. We'll take a quick pit stop at 65.50, then work our way up to 6,700.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you knew that, if you had that in mind, and you didn't want to just be directional, you wanted to try to be directional, but also collect theta, also collect vega, also
not get crazy deltas.
Exactly. You don't want to just short futures or be long futures, basically. How would you go about doing that? I have no answer for it.
I mean, I have a simple. I think that I'll see your question. I'll raise your question is, what sort of risk reward structure you're looking for? Because I think like a simple way to do it, which is also easy. Sometimes simple and easy are not the same. This is simple and easy, but I don't know that the risk reward is what you're looking for. Is what would be straightforward is just selling 5 wide at the money spreads, or just selling whatever type of spread you want when those levels are approached. And if you do that when the levels are approached, you could create some pretty nice target zones. For instance, hypothetically, one way to do this would be if we pump it open and you think your thesis, you think, oh, we're going to open at 66.10, 66.05, sell maybe not 0 DTE, but sell a 2 DTE or 7 DTE 5 wide spread. And then
at
the money, a 1-to-1, basically, collect about 250, maybe 5 points in the money. We drop down 50 points or whatever. Again, I think this does seem to have been a repeatable pattern. You could sell a spread there too, and you could create some target zones. I don't know that your risk reward is great though, because it's fairly straightforward to leg into those as a risk-free position, but you also may not be, the only way you hit a home run is if it expires in the middle of it. So like, that's what I've seen a lot of people do. A lot of people talk about it. It's simple and it's easy. It's very straightforward. It's easy to understand. It's also maybe not the risk reward people are looking for.
You're saying selling at the money call, buy a call above it or something.
Yeah. And then when we drop JSP at the bottom, and people have basically done, I've seen the concept of like profit trees or profit forests where people do this. And I've done this before with legging into flies. So you buy a call debit spread, market pumps, you sell a call credit spread to turn it into a free butterfly. And, the trick with those is depending on if you set it up to be a break-even trade, then you only really win if it expires in the middle. There are people who set those up to do them for a credit collected. Yeah. So they always, they make money even if it doesn't expire in the 10. Of course, the risk is, even with a debit spread, if it goes the wrong way, you may never get filled on your conversion into a free, your transformation. But Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I think one system, I'm going to talk about Matt's in a second, a good system. But what I was looking at today is, okay, what could you do today if you believe that theory, which I do, which I do. I was thinking already, like I was writing a few notes down. Okay, what I'm looking at today, vol's going to be low. We're going to be opening probably over 6,600. So what do we have with the, we could see how the market's been moving, throw on a low vol, throw on the fact that you want to be no crazy deltas, right? Relatively delta neutral. So what I like is wherever we open, number one, I'll give a couple ideas. One, do a calendar underneath the market. So put calendar 10 days, 15 days out, whatever you choose. But if you're doing it like a 13-day, 21-day calendar, whatever it is, below the market, you can go 30, 40 points under the market and your deltas are pretty close to zero. You're not even a half a delta. Out of it. So I think calendar's pound for pound fighter would be number one on my list.
Yeah.
Today, a calendar under the market, because what you're getting is relatively delta, quarter of a delta short, who cares, or whatever. But you've extended the downside break even at least 30 to 40 points, which is wonderful. And so if we go down, what'll happen, you'll go down, the volatility will go up. There's something in the next couple of days, you might be able to get a decent return on that immediately. The other thing I think is, again, when you're talking the pound for pound fighter, if you're talking a calendar under the market, bring in its first cousin, the DC. DC or one of the other double type trades, but I like the DC. Again, you can, you could still literally just do it how you normally do it, but we go down, you're going to get some volatility to come up. And the thing is, we're not getting a crazy down move, right? Maybe it goes down 50 or 60
right.
points. That should be beneficial to the DC. And you're coming in at vols are relatively low. So I'd be looking at something like a, 10 to 15, but obviously you can do shorter term stuff. So DC's double diagonals. I think the long Vega, that's the main thing I was going to look at today, the long Vega. But I like Matt's, another credit spread plan where I would just, you have two types of credit spreads people do. You can do the probability, right? Hey, I'm going to sell a 10 delta, 20 delta. Tammy and many others do that very effectively. Great strategy. But if I'm thinking more directional, right? Hey, I want to do a little more directional, better risk reward. Now, this is going to be more deltas. What I talked about with the trades, those are basically in the range bound. To me, in the range bound camp are deltas where, plus or minus one delta or 1.5 per count, delta neutral. But if you do the credit spreads, what I like about that is run the credit spreads down, but do, sell at the money, right? You want to get a higher credit. You don't want to get 50-cent credit, sell an at the money, buy a strike 5 or 10 points away, Now you're going to get more deltas than what I talked about with the count, more short deltas, but basically it goes down. And then when it goes down, what I would like, if you're looking for a little, a 50-point move up, do a debit spread. Maybe I don't know if anybody's done like a call debit spread, and I like to do them. This is where you could get a little kahunas. Whereas, okay, now instead of this 5 wide, 10 wide,
right
now you say, okay, I made a few shekels going down with the call credit spread. Now I'm going to do a 30 wide,
right,
or a little wider debit spread. Whether you and what I would do on the downside coming up, instead of buying at the money, maybe buy a 30, 35 delta, go out of the money, and then make it 20 or 30 wide. Now you're loaded for bear, kind of. If she turns up and goes from 6,600, we'll go down to 6,550, and then work our way back up.
Yeah,
I like some of those wider.
Yeah,
you can make more, because a lot of times people with credit spreads, they think of the credits. I can make this. It's not real exciting. But you do a debit spread.
Yes,
that's in the area of the RICs, right?
That's
now you're
right.
getting in RIC area, but you're doing one side, the call side. Could be a category. Now the other thing, just one last thing to go along with Troy's synopsis, is a RIC. Right. I mean, you think about a RIC, right? You want it to move one side. What you could do with a RIC is, okay, we go down. If you want to get a little exciting, it goes down, sell the put side, right? Right. Leave the call side on or something like that. And then you're kind of banging both sides there. But, just many ideas. But I think part of it is looking at what the market's giving you. We're at a 14 vol. Can you find something in the long Vega? So to me, my first choice today, looking in the long Vega category, but I like, if we go down and you think it's coming up, a little bit wider call spread. I mean, those things, wouldn't you agree? Have you guys ever done like a little bit wider call spread? Now you got,
now
it becomes real.
You get some movement on them and doing 20, 30 wide. And the other thing is, if you get a lot of movement, people fly those too.
Absolutely.
So then say you do a 30 wide and it moves 20 points in to where it's good. You add a 30 wide credit spread on the top of that. And then talking about locking in and potentially hitting a Yahtzee, that's
talk about going to Key West.
Talking about a whole pie of key lime, not a slice, but a whole pie.
Right. Baby. That's I agree with both of those premises. I mean, I was thinking about it. I like thinking through problems like that because it kind of starts revealing your nature, and you can kind of wrestle with your nature a little bit. Because my initial thought was, I was playing around with it this weekend. My initial thought was, okay, well, you try to play each side. You try to be tactician, and so you build the forest one leg at a time, whatever. But then there was part of me that was like, is there a way that you could put a structure at the beginning that covers all the bases, that collects theta, but then takes profit? You start legging out of it. So rather than legging into it, you put it all at the same time and leg out of it. And my thought was like, let's say we were at 6,500 and we had just done this previous 2 weeks, right? My initial thought was like, okay, go ahead and put, again, I could be wrong. It's an open-ended question, but go ahead and put call calendars 100 points up. So at the next 100 strikes, so 5,600, do double diagonals at 5,650 that are longer dated, that are kind of paying for the short dated calendar a little bit, or trying to cover some of the theta for that calendar.
Troy, I think you got to model this out.
All right, let's go ahead and do it real quick. All right.
This is too much to visualize.
There's
a comment about, and we're not, we're not even talking about DTE in this, right? Like, are you imagining these being more than 0 DTE, right? Like that, I took it as you're talking a couple days out. Yeah.
You need some.
Yeah.
It's obviously with the time spreads, they can have to be.
Let's say we're at 5,500 right now, and FOMC wasn't there, so this is just real rudimentary.
Do you mean 6,600, right?
Sorry, so yeah, say we had just got to 65. Well, no, say we were at 6,500 and we were going to play this up to 60.
600.
Yeah,
Or you could just say we're at 65.84 hypothetically.
you could do that as well if you wanted to now.
Just a thought.
Just a thought. Yeah.
All right. So
I get you.
I would do something like, let's say we're 6,500. I would say, okay, I'm going to go, and I'm going to make one caveat. I'm going to assume we open above 6,600 today. Okay. So my initial, forget the
Yeah,
put
that's
side.
fair.
My initial thought to the upside is to do something like this, where you go 6,700. You know, you could double it, so 714 for. Okay, let's look at that real quick. Okay, and then I'm going to add above that. I'm going to go farther out. So at that 14 day, I'm actually going to do 6750, and I'm actually going to go out another week, and I'm going to go 6575. So I'm going to do a diagonal there
On the call side. Okay.
on the call. So that's the call side.
So you're
right?
selling. So you're selling the 6150, 6750, but you're selling that 7 days further out than the calendar short.
Yeah, and I'm diagonalizing that one. So I'm buying the 21 day out. That's 25 points above that. So it's a 25 wide diagonal to the upside, way up there. But
yeah,
so that
I'll call calendar with a short diagonal or a standard.
It's a call calendar and then a call diagonal. I mean, that's a short call diagonal. That would be my initial thought. But then on the down, what do you do on the downside? Well,
so this will play it down. What does it show on that thing? Did it show what the deltas would be of that combo?
You're starting a positive delta. You're starting about 10 delta.
Oh, because of the calendar. Yeah.
And it's just call stuff. So you got the.
What was the deltas, Troy? Can you show on there? What was the deltas just of that diagonal?
If you did just the diagonal
piece,
take that out for here. Two delta.
Two deltas long.
You're getting a lot of the. So most of the deltas are all.
Oh, the calendar, because that's the shorter term.
Yeah, you want that shorter term to be. That's kind of your movement play, and I'm using the diagonal just to. I'm using that diagonal just to pay almost for the calendar, if that makes sense.
I got you.
I mean, you're not going to pay for it, and it's still a debit. But I'm saying, like, you get some theta. You've got some theta burn off happening, as you go that. So that's that side. Again, this could be completely wrong. It's just my initial thought. And then maybe tomorrow we'll look at the put side because I want to look at news events for today. But that's my initial thought, is something like that structure.
So your first move. So this is the upside is based on. You want to play the upside first.
If it's trending up, I mean, if the theory is that we're probably going to go up, now the hard part is how do you profit from those little reversions back down? Yeah. That's my thought. Yeah, that's my initial thought. So there's a million ways to do it. We can look at butterflies.
But I think that's a huge conversation, and sometimes we jump into strategies, right? And we talk about things, but sometimes it's good, like a general, to, hey, what's the thesis? What are you looking, because sometimes we don't sit back. Well, I get it, all the charts and everything, but sometimes it's good to look back and just see right in front of us, right? I remember Steve from Navigation made it when I interviewed him. He gave hope to me, to people who couldn't read it, who's been looking at charts for years, cannot still read a technical chart, but he gave hope. And he says, I don't look at all that stuff. I mean, he understands the stuff, but he just look at the price action. That's something I can do. I can see what it did yesterday. I can see what it's done over 2 months, right? I mean, that gives me hope. I can see that. And that's what he's saying. And you can say, like Troy said, very easily, right? Hey, we seem like we've been going to a big number then we go up, go down a little bit, make it a little more simple because there are some of these repeatable patterns, and get an idea, right? How do you play that move, right? And I think that's
right.
And I just like to look, how do you play that move in the context of the VIX level? But
Yeah.
I see you got a
Matt, you've got some dates up for us real quick before we get to that. The mystery tool,
the mystery tool.
the mystery tool. That was a great Charles Oliger, Center for Ricardo Louis Oligares. Giant cigar, a small head. Why not both?
Yeah.
Why not both? The mystery tool is in progress. I like showing it off. I like using it. I use it quite a bit. And so what it will have or not have, is to be determined. It's in progress. So, Matt?
Listen, just thought we'd wrap up here a couple minutes before the bell. Review of this week, a visualization of some of the news. So today, I guess we already had the Empire State Manufacturing Index. I don't even know really how significant that is. Futures up 20, I think last time I checked. And then tomorrow is retail sales, but Wednesday's the big boy, which is the FOMC statement. And I think at this point, what are the odds? Chat, help us out. What are the odds of them doing a rate cut? And what is the size of the rate cut? The last thing I saw was pretty high odds, but just a quarter percent. And I'm not sure the time frame now through the end of the year. So if anybody from the chat is up to speed, there's actually, I don't think in the US, maybe in the US, there's actually betting markets on this now. Some of those betting markets, like the poly markets of the world, you can bet, and there's some that aren't legal in the US. So I'm not as up to speed with them, but then some of the US brokers have essentially betting as well. Have you guys seen this? This is probably a topic for another show, but like, I think a couple of the brokers, you can actually essentially turn on a betting odds on different market events. And if FOMC rates aren't there, I'm sure they will be in the future. So
I think CBOE had something like that. Where you're betting on binary events.
Yeah, I think these are these aren't. Yeah, you're essentially betting on. They'll just give you odds, and you're betting. Maybe we need to have our resident gambling / bookie subject matter experts on to discuss.
He'd be great on the binary events.
The binary events. Jeb says 96% for a 0.25. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Jeb. Thank you from the chat. And yes, I think IBKR, see that in the chat too. I think they do have a feature that you can get odds for different events as well. So that's what we're looking at.
We will continue looking. Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I would love to get an idea of something to where maybe we could backtest it in the future and kind of run some of that and show off. Matt, is there a tool where we could look at some more custom type of backtesting?
I mean, you could certainly do the CSV import. I'm just trying to think about how you would quantify. Like, that's the thing about, like, I think you can obviously trust the data. It's just, what's a consistent system? Just come up with a consistent system and say, like, hey, as we approach this number, this is the DTE I'm going to look at. And then it would be trivial to backtest it, but here's the thing. We've had plenty of those approaches this year because we were in like the 4900s less than 6 months ago. So plenty of examples.
That's why I keep watching. I keep watching it every week. And I'm like, I wonder if there's a way to systemize this, because I don't want to just do futures on it. I want to systemize it. So anyway, we'll continue it. Maybe I'm a madman.
No, I like it.
That may be, listen, why not both?
Both can be true.
Both can be true.
Well, how real quick, how many times do we look at a market or something and we say, it's like it's happening again and again? And when do we say, well, wait a second, if it's happening again,
I should know how to do something.
Why shouldn't we make life easier for ourselves? But we just kind of be dragged along from week to week. And then we realize 8 months later, it's done the same stinking thing every 2 weeks or something.
Yep. Yeah. If the chat already has a couple ideas, if you come up with something and send it to Troy, send it to me, or just post it in the channel on Discord.
Show discussion. Yep. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, listen, we'll be back tomorrow and we'll have more ideas we'll want to talk about.